All right, let's get started here. Again, one more time, if you could just select the green microphone button on your go-to training control panel. I do hear some feedback, so if you could select the green button, microphone button, we can get started and get going. Cool. So thanks, guys, for joining. I really appreciate it. We're going to discuss a few topics today. First off, I want to apologize if you got duplicate newsletters a couple days ago. I sent out the wrong one, and then I quickly panicked and sent out the right one. So just an FYI, the second one that you got is the right newsletter. So today we're going to discuss audit logs for work orders, estimates, and projects, and then data sets. So there's new data sets for payments, new data sets for invoices, and also equipment. So we're really excited about showing off that. So yeah, they'll go over that. And then I do want to start off by saying one thing. We are having a referral program. And so I want to quickly mention that before we get started. What we're doing is if you refer anybody to our platform, and whether you're a customer of ours or you're not actually, and you refer somebody to our platform and they join and decide the platform's right for them, after their third month, we will send you a check for the amount of money that they paid for in their third month. So what that means is if they signed up for 3 licenses, which is $150, we would send you a check for that amount. So we're giving this a try. If you have any questions, let us know. You can reach our sales team, but hopefully you have some people in mind. And of course, it's always nice to get a kickback if they join and they go ahead and use us. So cool. If any questions about that, again, call us or email us so we can explain a little bit further. But yeah, referral program for people that you might know that might be interested. Great. All right, let's get into the two kind of areas I will go over today. So the first one, let's touch base on the audit logs. So what that means is, and I went over this about a month or so ago in regards to payment audit logs. So now we've introduced it for work orders, estimates, and projects. So what you want to do is just easily go into any work order that you have, and let's try to find one that has a lot of data. So I believe let's find one that's finished, and let's put it as like a month or two ago. So let's put March 1st. Cool. So let's find, I believe I'm looking for work order 231. Perfect. So I will pull this one up. It's been finished already. So as you might have seen with the payment audit logs, if I go down to the very, very bottom little row here, audit history. So with these audit logs, essentially what we're showcasing is your team's changes that have been made to the work order, estimate, or project. So that means any change, whether they reassigned it to a new technician, whether they changed the price of like a product or service, maybe they entered a custom field, put a custom field entry in, whatever it may be, we're going to showcase the day and time of that change, who the user was. So what's great is if you have multiple people in the office, each person has like their own access, and you'll be able to see which person in the office made the change. The details is kind of like the category of what they're changing, and then the log kind of showcases what was changed. Up top here, you can easily filter through to find exactly what you might be looking for. So if you need to maybe search for, I think, activity note, you can easily pull that up. If that's not pulling up the right information, you can also use this little drop-down menu, which will give you a bunch of options to choose from. So if you need to find audit or history in regards to the job, we can pull that. And then if you need to actually pull it by the user, so everything in regards to Michael, you can pull that. So then as you notice, yeah, there's some changes here. Let's go back to all details. So you'll see some of these changes that were made. It was assigned and unassigned, and there's even more down here. So don't forget, this isn't just that's everything. You can tab over to another page and see more. So it looks like there's 3 currently. There's a lot of going on sometimes within these. This is a custom field that was edited, so we're going to showcase all the custom fields. We're working on kind of condensing a lot of this information because it's kind of a lot at once. Just be aware of that. But otherwise, yeah, very similar to the payment history. You're able to see changes and obviously be able to reference it and make sure that the appropriate person is aware of what changes happened. And then the same thing goes to the estimates, just to show you how that looks. If we look at, let's search for estimates 217. We'll go down. And again, all these changes happened. Same kind of ordeal as the work order, except it's just changed over from estimate. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, let me know. I believe we're also working on more audit logs for particular other areas, but as you know already, we already have the payments, accounting information, and now the work order estimates, which probably will be the most beneficial to see what happened and why. So great. All right, let's switch over to the data sets, new reports to showcase. So easily go over to the reports section and let's create a new revenue report. So I'll hit the plus button. And on the very bottom here, if I scroll all the way down, 3 new data sets I believe that I haven't shown just yet. A couple of weeks ago, I went over the parts revenue. So that's your ability to pull a report on a particular parts and see which ones sold the best, which ones had the most revenue in a certain duration. Right now, we're going to show off the payment list, the invoice list, and the equipment list. So let's first dig into the payment list, and let's create a new report. So payments essentially are going to show all the payments that you've made. And as you see here, these are the new kind of fields you can click on. So in regards to the payment, we can now pull some data such as the amount, the date, if it's applied or not, the payment ID number, and you can also deselect fields as well. So let's go ahead and create something here. Let's take off campaign name, marketing category doesn't really matter to us. So let's jump up to payment. We can see who created this payment, what date it was created on. Let's also open up the duration to see a little bit more data here. Let's put it to the 1st of March. Cool. All right, so as you can see here, 2 pages worth, a customer name, the date, the payment method, what status, is it applied or unapplied, how much the amount was, the work orders that are referenced to the payments, invoice numbers, created date, and then of course what employee took care of this. I recommend, if you'd like, to drag and drop the customer name into this little column sorter up here. Then you're able to really see by customers the payments being made. It's just kind of easier view to look at. And as you know, with any of these reports, you can add and edit them, and then of course save them so they're always at your disposal when you open up your reports tab. So great, as you can see, we have our customers here. We have the payment method again, how much was applied, and then again, let's print preview this so we can show you kind of what it looks like. Take a second to load here. Great. So here it is. This is kind of the look of it. And again, you can print preview this, print it out. Maybe you want to do it once a month, maybe you want to do it once a week, whatever it may be. You're able to see your payments for the customers. And obviously, this could be used for your disposal at anywhere you want, whether you just make sure all of them are applied. You can kind of tally up the amount. And you can also see what kind of was the preferred payment method for most of your customers. Great. Let's jump over to the next one, which is invoices. So let's again create another revenue report. And let's go down to invoice list and create it. Cool. And this will populate. If I scroll down, this under the invoices are kind of the new fields to look at. So let's click on invoice ID and let's give it a little bit more date, more information here. So again, we're pulling all the invoices that were made through Service Bridge. So you can pull it by customer. You have the invoice ID, the job numbers relating to it, what the invoice number was, the subtotal, the total, and of course the invoice date. And as you notice, you can take a column header here and you can drag it over, so kind of align it with how you'd like. You can edit these and move these over. But yeah, pretty standard with the same thing with invoice. Again, seeing, you can look at the whole month or week and see which invoices were sent out, and you can see which customers you sent out the invoices to. All right, great. The last one to show off is equipment. So let's go to reports again, and again, add a new one. And if I scroll down, equipment list. So if you have equipment tied to a customer, this is great to pull a report of like, what's the status of your equipment? When was it last serviced? Maybe pull a report of all the manufacturers of it. So let's go down to equipment, and you can see these. Let's get rid of campaign name and marketing category. And let's go down to equipment so we can see when the equipment was created. Let's pull a good amount here. So we can see when the equipment is created, if there's an ID tied to it, when it was installed. That's probably really important to have. Who the manufacturer and model number is. And if there's a parent manufacturer, parent model, you can see if it's been removed and also the status of it. So let's scroll over. And I think status is pretty important to see what it currently sits at. And let's see, created on. When did we get this in? All right, okay, cool. So yeah, again, if there's equipment tied to a customer, now you can run a report on fields such as these. So it's good to pull this once a month, see if make sure all the statuses are in line. Maybe there needs to be repairs, maybe you need to service it, have checkups, things like that. This allows you to really condense all your equipment into one easy, viewable kind of Excel sheet and format. And again, you can print preview this information, have it easily accessible, as you can see here. And yeah, it's good to go. So yeah, again, these are all in the report section. If you go to then create a new revenue report, I suggest you go through a lot of these reports if you haven't yet. Down here, accounting reports, these are fairly new. Commissions by technician, parts revenue I went over before. But again, these are fairly new reports that could be beneficial for you guys to kind of peruse through. And of course, if any questions come up, you can let us know. But hopefully you find these beneficial. We're happy to answer any questions about those. But yeah, that's all I had to showcase today. I guess I will leave it up for any questions, if there's any questions about what I went over, or just any questions at all. Feel free to use the chat functionality as well. That's on the bottom kind of tab on your GoToTraining control panel. Feel free to chat over any questions if you have them. No questions just yet, huh? Anybody curious about anything that's going on that we're updating? Is there things you'd like to see? Is there reports maybe you're looking to pull? that you haven't been able to find, specific fields, specific things to see, I'm happy to kind of dig into that a bit. Yeah, there's a question just general about webinars or scheduling techs. If it's hard for your technicians to, see, jump in on a call, we're happy to schedule, any sort of calls with them, training calls, webinars. Be aware, and I think I say this after each kind of webinar, is I put this webinar, it's being recorded. I put it on our support page. So I have the last like 8 or 9 webinars that I've done on our support page under, I believe, video tutorials or community. And you can access those, and it just takes you to a YouTube video of the webinar. And so that our support page is support.servicebridge.com. You can just view all the videos that you have, and I did label them so you know what the topics are of the webinar. But again, if it's a personalized call and you'd like for the techs to come and jump on a call, I'm happy to do that. Obviously, it's a little hard for them to share the screen if they're on the road. And usually a screen share is helpful, especially if I'm showing off like the mobile app. Yeah, good question about the scheduling. I'm guessing you're asking about the dispatch board. So we have created a new scheduling calendar. It's sort of released, but sort of not. There are a little bit of bugs in it that we're working out. We're on top of it, and we're trying to get those cleared and taken care of. I've seen it. It looks really nice. It kind of reminds me of like a Gmail calendar, where it's really easy to see your technicians, really easy to schedule a job from the calendar. So it's really nice. I don't want to give too much away until it's finally released. And of course, once it is fully released and bug-free, I will certainly do a full-on webinar of it. And if you just kind of keep tabs on the newsletter, I'll mention it on the newsletter, which would then go to the webinar a couple days later. So we'll keep you posted on it. I can't give you an exact time frame, but we are working on it. The initial release has been put out there, but we're going to figure out the other bugs ASAP. Hopefully it's a long-winded answer for it's not ready yet. Cool. Any other questions? These are good. It doesn't have to be about necessarily the things that we did or I talked about, but it could be about anything. Okay, I'll leave everybody hanging here. Again, that referral program, please consider it. Please send us your referrals. We're happy to do all the outreach and talks with them. Just send us who might be interested, and we'll send you the check if they join. So keep us posted. Again, any questions, sales@servicebridge.com. We're happy to help you guys out, and we'll speak to you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great day, and we'll be in touch. See you guys.
Thanks, Kevin.